The Earth Leadership Council met in a large room deep under the main government building. 12 men and women sat around a round table. They all looked worried. Abigail and Lyra stood in the center of the room. "Let me be clear about what we're facing," said Dr. Samantha Bell. She was the head scientist for Earth's defense systems. She tapped on her tablet, and a big screen on the wall lit up with pictures and data. According to the information Princess Lyra has shared, the Drakari have destroyed 17 different civilizations in their search for her. The council members murmured to each other. Samantha continued. The Drakari Empire controls 3 galaxies. Their technology is far beyond ours. Their ships can travel faster than light. Their weapons can destroy entire planets. She looked at Lyra. And they will be here in less than 30 hours. General Patricia Stone slammed her hand on the table. Then what chance do we have? If they're as powerful as you say, we might as well surrender now. No, Abigail said firmly. Princess Lyra has offered us her ship's technology. It's more advanced than anything we have. It could give us a fighting chance. And what does she want in return? Asked a council member. Abigail looked at Lyra. The alien princess stepped forward. Her veils rippled around her. I ask only for my freedom, Lyra said. I will not be held prisoner. I will not be studied in your labs. I will help you fight the Drakari, but I must remain free to do so. General Stone narrowed her eyes. And why should we trust you? For all we know, this could be a trick. Maybe you've done something terrible, and the Drakari are right to hunt you down. Lyra's eyes flashed. For a moment they glowed so brightly that everyone had to look away. When they looked back, Lyra had moved closer to the general, though no one had seen her take a step. If I wished you harm, Lyra said softly, I would not need tricks. The room was silent. Abigail stepped between them. I've seen what the Drakari did to her, Abigail said. She thought of the scars on Lyra's body. I believe her fear is real. What Abigail didn't say was how Lyra had touched her mind on the ship, how she had felt the aliens' memories, her pain, her desperation. There was something important that Lyra wasn't telling them, something about why the Drakari wanted her so badly. But Abigail believed the threat was real. If we refuse her help, Abigail continued, we face certain destruction. With it, we have a chance to survive. The council talked among themselves for several minutes. Finally, the leader of the council, an older woman named Ruth Gray, spoke. Very well, Commander West. We will accept Princess Lyra's help. She looked at Lyra with serious eyes. But know this, our trust has limits. If we suspect any betrayal, we will take action. Lyra bowed her head slightly. I understand. What do you need from us? Ruth asked. Access to your defense systems, Lyra said. Your ships, your satellites, your weapons. With the technology from my ship, we can improve them, make them stronger, give them a chance against the Drakari. And how long will that take? General Stone asked. With enough people helping, we can make the most important changes before the Drakari arrive, Lyra said. Ruth nodded. You'll have whatever resources you need. She turned to Abigail. Commander West, you will work directly with Princess Lyra. You are responsible for her. Yes, ma'am, Abigail said. As they left the council room, Abigail noticed Lyra looking at her strangely. What is it? Abigail asked. You didn't tell them everything, Lyra said. About what I showed you. Abigail stopped walking. No, I didn't. And you haven't told me everything either. There's more to why the Drakari want you, isn't there? Lyra looked away. Yes. Will you tell me? When the time is right, Lyra said. For now we must work. The Drakari are coming. For the next 24 hours, Abigail and Lyra worked without stopping. They traveled to military bases around the world. At each one, Lyra used small crystals from her ship to upgrade Earth's weapons and shields. Engineers and scientists watched in amazement as their technology changed before their eyes. Computers ran faster. Energy shields grew stronger. Weapon systems became more powerful. On the stellar horizon, Lyra made the biggest changes. She connected the ship's systems directly to crystals from her own vessel. This ship will lead your defense, she told Abigail. It will coordinate all your forces. As they worked, Abigail learned more about Lyra. The alien princess rarely ate or slept. She moved with a grace that seemed impossible, sometimes floating slightly above the ground when she thought no one was looking. And sometimes when Lyra touched the equipment, Abigail saw strange lights move from the alien's fingers into the machines. It looked almost like Lyra was putting part of herself into Earth's defenses. Late that night, as they worked alone in the Stellar Horizons engine room, Abigail finally asked the question that had been bothering her. Lyra, what are you doing to our systems? It's more than just adding technology, isn't it? Lyra looked at Abigail for a long moment. Then she sighed. You see more than most humans, she said. Yes, it's more than technology. My people, the Luminari, have a deep connection to energy and light. We can share our essence with machines, make them more than they were. Is it hurting you? Abigail asked, noticing how tired Lyra looked. Lyra smiled slightly. It takes energy, yes, but it is necessary. Abigail wanted to ask more, but alarms started blaring throughout the ship. They're here, Lyra whispered, her eyes wide with fear. The Drakari have arrived. They rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, they could see the Drakari ships entering Earth's solar system. There were 50 of them, of different sizes. The largest was in the center, a massive vessel shaped like a curved blade. All our ships are in position, Kate reported. Earth's defense grid is online. Everything we could upgrade has been upgraded. Abigail looked at Lyra. Is it enough? Lyra's veils had been replaced with a tight-fitting suit that looked like liquid metal. It shifted and moved across her body like a living thing. We will soon find out, she said quietly. The Drakari ships moved closer. The largest ship sent a message. On the screen appeared a face that made Abigail step back in shock. The being had scales instead of skin. The scales changed color as it spoke. Its head had a crown of sharp horns. Its eyes were yellow with thin black slits for pupils. I am Commander Vex of the Drakari Armada, the being said in a hissing voice. We know you are harboring the Luminari fugitive. Return her to us and we will spare your world. Abigail felt Lyra tense beside her. She stepped forward. This is Commander West of the Earth Defense Force. Princess Lyra has claimed sanctuary on Earth. We will not hand her over. The Drakari commander's scales turned a deep red. Then you will die with her. The screen went dark. All ships prepare for battle, Abigail ordered. She looked at Lyra. I hope your upgrades work. Lyra's eyes glowed brightly. So do I, Commander. So do I. Commander Abigail West stood on the bridge of the Stellar Horizon. She watched the main screen with wide eyes. A black ship had just appeared near Earth. It came out of nowhere. No radar had seen it coming. No warning systems had gone off. One moment there was nothing, and the next moment, the strange ship was there. What is that? Abigail asked. Her voice was calm, but her hands gripped the edge of her command chair tightly. The ship looked like a piece of night sky had been cut out and shaped into a vessel. It did not reflect light like normal ships. Instead, it seemed to swallow all light that touched it. Unknown, Commander, said Lieutenant Kate Donahue. She tapped quickly on her screen. It's not in any of our databases. It's not showing up properly on our sensors either. Abigail stood up straight. She was the lead science officer on humanity's best spaceship. In her 10 years with the Earth Defense Force, she had never seen anything like this. Are they doing anything? She asked. No, Commander. They're just sitting there. Kate looked up from her screen. Wait. They're sending us a message. Put it on the main screen, Abigail ordered. The screen flickered. A figure appeared. It looked almost human, but not quite. The being was covered in thin veils that shifted colors like oil on water. Abigail could only clearly see the being's eyes. They were like cat eyes, with up and down pupils instead of round ones. They glowed with a strange light that seemed too intelligent, too old. Greetings, humans, the figure said. Its voice was beautiful but strange. It had a sound underneath that made Abigail's ears feel odd. "I've come seeking sanctuary. My enemies. Follow close behind." Abigail stepped forward where the camera could see her better. "I'm Commander West of the Earth Defense Force. Who are you and what enemies are we talking about?" The alien laughed. It sounded like small glass bells ringing. "If you knew who I was, you would be scared," the alien princess laughed. "But you'll learn soon enough. The Drakari Armada will be here within your solar cycle, and they'll burn your world to cinders to find me." The bridge went silent. Everyone looked at Abigail. She kept her face calm, but her mind was racing. "We need more information," she said, to the alien. "Why are these Drakari chasing you? Why should we help you?" "Let me come aboard your ship," the alien said. "I will explain everything." Abigail thought for a moment. This could be a trick, but if the alien was telling the truth, Earth was in danger. "Very well," she said. "We will send a shuttle to bring you to our ship." "No need," the alien replied. A soft light appeared in the corner of the bridge. It grew brighter until Abigail had to look away. When she looked back, the alien was standing there. No one had seen how she had traveled from her ship to theirs so quickly. Up close, the alien was taller than a human. The veils around her moved, as if in a gentle breeze, though the air on the bridge was still. Through the veils, Abigail could see that the alien's skin gave off a faint glow, like moonlight. "How did you do that?" Kate asked, her hand moving to her weapon. "My people have mastered many forms of travel," the alien said. She reached up and pulled back the veils from her face. Her face was beautiful but strange. Her features were sharper than a human's. Her skin had a blue-white glow, and her eyes, those cat-like eyes, changed colors as Abigail watched, from purple to green to gold. "I am Lyra," the alien said, "last princess of the Luminari, and the Drakari Empire wants me dead, or worse, captured." "Why?" Abigail asked. Lyra's eyes darkened. "Because of what I can do. Because of what I am." Alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Kate looked at her screen. "Commander, our long-range sensors are picking up multiple ships entering the solar system." "How many?" Abigail asked. "At least 50, Commander. And they're big." Lyra stepped closer to Abigail. "The Drakari have found me faster than I expected. You have hours, not days." She held out her hand. In it was a small crystal that glowed with a blue light. "This contains information about my ship's technology. Your shields, your weapons, they will not stop the Drakari. But with my help, you might have a chance." Abigail looked at the crystal, then at Lyra's face. "Why should we trust you?" Lyra's veils parted further. Abigail gasped. The alien's glowing skin was covered in scars, long, pale lines that crisscrossed her arms and neck. "Because I know what they do to those who resist them," Lyra said quietly. "I escaped their prison ships. I watched my family die rather than give the Drakari what they wanted. And now I am the last." She looked directly into Abigail's eyes. "Help me, Commander West. Help me, and I will help your world survive what is coming." Abigail made her decision. She took the crystal from Lyra's hand. "Kate, contact Earth Command. Tell them we need an emergency meeting with the Leadership Council. Now." As Kate sent the message, Abigail turned back to Lyra. "You need to tell me everything. What these Drakari want, why they're after you, and what we're really facing." Lyra nodded slowly. "I will show you." She reached out and touched Abigail's forehead with cool fingers. Suddenly, Abigail wasn't on the bridge anymore. In her mind, she saw worlds burning. She saw giant ships destroying cities. She saw strange beings with scaled skin and horned heads laughing as planets died. And she felt Lyra's fear, her pain, her desperate hope that this time, on this planet, she might find allies strong enough to help her make a stand. When Lyra took her hand away, Abigail was gasping for breath. The other officers on the bridge were staring at them. "Commander," Kate asked, Are you all right? Abigail nodded slowly. Yes. She looked at Lyra with new understanding. Earth Command has agreed to the meeting. They're waiting for us. As they prepared to travel down to Earth, Abigail couldn't shake the feeling that Lyra still wasn't telling her everything. The alien princess had shared terrible visions of the Drakari, yes. But Abigail sensed there was something more. Something about Lyra herself that might be just as frightening as the enemy fleet now heading toward Earth. Abigail woke up in the medical bay of the stellar horizon. Her body felt heavy, as if she had not slept for days. When she tried to sit up, pain shot through her head. Easy, said a gentle voice. Dr. Mary Foster, the ship's chief medical officer, pushed her back down. You need to rest. How long have I been out? Abigail asked. Her voice was rough. 3 days, Mary said. She checked the monitors beside Abigail's bed. Your body suffered severe energy depletion. Whatever that alien princess did to you, it nearly killed you, Abigail remembered. The battle. Taking Lyra's hands. Seeing reality itself. Helping to fold away the Drakari ships. Where is Lyra? She asked. Right here, came that musical voice. Lyra stepped into view. She looked different. She no longer wore the veils or the liquid metal suit. Instead, she wore simple earth clothes, jeans and a blue sweater. But she still glowed faintly and her eyes still changed colors as she moved. You saved us, Abigail said. Lyra shook her head. We saved each other. Without your strength as my anchor, I could not have used my power safely. Mary looked between them. I'll give you two some privacy. She walked away, still watching the alien princess with cautious eyes. When they were alone, Abigail asked, What happened after I passed out? Earth celebrated, Lyra said with a small smile. Your people are calling it the Battle of Sol. They're calling you a hero. And you? What do they think of you? Lyra's smile faded. Some are grateful, others are afraid. Now that they know what I can do, many wonder if I am more dangerous than the Drakari. Are you? Abigail asked quietly. Lyra looked at her with sad eyes. Perhaps, but I choose not to be. Over the next few days, as Abigail recovered, Lyra visited often. They talked about many things. Lyra told Abigail about her homeworld, Lumina, a planet of crystal cities and golden light. She spoke of her family, her mother and father, the king and queen, who had died protecting her from the Drakari. I was supposed to be the next queen, Lyra said one evening. They sat by the window in the medical bay looking out at the stars, but now there is no kingdom left to rule. The Drakari destroyed it all. I'm sorry, Abigail said. She reached out and took Lyra's hand. It felt warm and somehow lighter than a human hand should be. What will you do now? Abigail asked. Will you stay on Earth? If your people will have me, Lyra said. The Drakari will be back eventually. Not soon. Commander Vex will warn them about my power. But someday they will try again, and we'll be ready, Abigail said firmly. After a week, Abigail was strong enough to leave the medical bay. Earth's Leadership Council had called for a meeting. They wanted to talk about Lyra and her powers. The meeting took place in the same underground room as before. But this time the council members looked at Lyra with new eyes. Some with respect, others with fear. Princess Lyra, Ruth Gray began, we owe you our gratitude. Without your help, Earth would have fallen to the Drakari. I only did what was necessary, Lyra said. General Stone leaned forward. But now we need to discuss the future. Specifically, your future on Earth. What do you mean? Abigail asked, standing beside Lyra. We know what she can do now, General, Stone said. She can erase things from existence. She's possibly the most powerful weapon in the galaxy. She looked directly at Lyra. We need assurances that this power will never be used against Earth. Lyra's eyes flashed. I am not a weapon. I am a person. My power is part of me, but it does not define me. Nevertheless, Ruth said, the people of Earth are frightened. They've seen what happened to the Drakari ships. They worry the same could happen to them. That's ridiculous, Abigail said. Lyra saved us. Yes, she did, Ruth agreed. But fear is not always rational, Commander. The council talked for hours. Some wanted Lyra to leave Earth. Others wanted to study her powers. A few even suggested keeping her in a secure facility for everyone's safety. Abigail argued fiercely against these ideas. Lyra is our ally, not our prisoner. She chose to help us when she could have run away. We owe her better than this. Finally, Ruth held up her hand for silence. We have heard enough. The council will now vote on Princess Lyra's status. Abigail held her breath as the council members entered their votes on their tablets. Lyra stood perfectly still, her face calm, but Abigail could see the tension in her shoulders. Ruth looked at the results. By a vote of 7-5, the council has decided that Princess Lyra may remain on Earth as a free individual, with the same rights as any resident alien. Abigail let out a sigh of relief. Lyra bowed her head to the council. Thank you, she said. I promise, I will use my abilities only to protect Earth, never to harm it. As they left the council chambers, Abigail noticed Lyra was quiet. Are you all right? She asked. They're right to fear me, Lyra said softly. My power is dangerous. Sometimes I fear it myself. But you control it, not the other way around, Abigail said. I've seen that. Lyra smiled sadly. For now, but using it takes a toll. Each time it becomes harder to hold back, harder to maintain control. Is that why you ran from the Drakari for so long? Why you didn't fight back until now? Lyra nodded. I was afraid of what I might become if I embraced my power fully, afraid I might lose myself in it. But you didn't, Abigail pointed out. You used it and you're still you. Because of you, Lyra said. She touched Abigail's face gently. Your mind, your spirit, they anchored me, kept me from drifting too, far into the quantum pathways. Abigail felt her face grow warm at the touch. Then we'll make sure you always have an anchor when you need one. The next few weeks were busy. Earth was preparing for the possibility of another Drakari attack, even though Lyra said it might be years before they returned. Lyra worked with Earth's scientists, teaching them about her technology, helping them understand the principles behind it. Abigail stayed close to Lyra during this time. At first, she told herself it was because she was responsible for the alien princess. But soon she had to admit there was more to it. She enjoyed Lyra's company. She was fascinated by the aliens' view of the universe, by her stories of other worlds and civilizations. And sometimes, when Lyra smiled at her, Abigail felt something stir inside her that had nothing to do with duty or responsibility. One night, they stood on the observation deck of the stellar horizon looking down at Earth. The blue planet glowed against the blackness of space. It's beautiful, Lyra said. So full of life, of possibilities. Is it very different from your home world? Abigail asked. Yes and no, Lyra said. Lumina had more light, more color. The air itself seemed to shimmer. But the people, they laughed, they cried, they loved, just like humans. Do you miss it? Every day, Lyra admitted. But she turned to look at Abigail. I'm starting to find things here that make the pain less sharp. Abigail felt her heart beat faster. She was about to speak when alarms began to sound throughout the ship. Commander West to the bridge, Kate's voice came over the speakers. Emergency. Situation. They rushed to the bridge. Kate was at her station, her face pale. What is it? Abigail asked. We're picking up a signal, Kate said. It's weak, but it's definitely Drakari. Show me, Abigail ordered. On the screen appeared a star map. A small red dot was moving slowly toward Earth's solar system. Is it the flagship? Abigail asked. The one that escaped? No, Kate said. It's much smaller. Possibly a scout ship. Lyra stepped forward, her eyes on the screen. They're already sending scouts, she said. Sooner than I expected. What does it mean? Abigail asked. Lyra's face was grim. It means the Drakari haven't given up. They're watching, waiting, learning about Earth's defenses. Can they detect you? Kate asked. Know that you're still here? Possibly, Lyra said. If they have the right equipment. Abigail made a quick decision. We need to capture that scout ship. Find out what they know, what they're planning. Agreed, Lyra said. But we must be careful. Even a scout ship will have powerful weapons. The stellar horizon can handle it, Abigail said confidently. Especially with you on board. Lyra looked at her with those strange color-changing eyes. I will help, of course, but Abigail... She hesitated. If we capture Drakari soldiers, they may recognize me. They may try to... take me. Abigail stepped closer to her. That's not going to happen, she said firmly. I won't let it. For a moment they looked at each other, an unspoken promise passing between them. Then Abigail turned to Kate. Set course to intercept that scout ship and alert Earth Command. The Drakari might be coming back sooner than we thought. The Drakari attacked without warning. Bright beams of energy shot from their ships toward Earth, but before they could hit, a blue shield appeared around the planet. The beams hit the shield and spread out like water. The planetary shield is holding, Kate reported, surprise in her voice. Lyra's upgrades are working. Abigail nodded. All ships, attack pattern Delta. Focus on the smaller Drakari vessels first. Earth's fleet moved forward. The stellar horizon led the way. The ships fired their weapons. Thanks to Lyra's technology, their lasers and missiles were much stronger than before. Several Drakari ships took hits. Their shields flashed but held. They're tough, Abigail said. Yes, Lyra agreed. But they didn't expect you to have such strong defenses. We have surprised them. The battle spread across Earth's orbit. Ships fired at each other. Explosions lit up space. After an hour of fighting, 3 Drakari ships had been destroyed, but Earth had lost 5 ships. We can't keep this up, Kate said. We're losing too many. Suddenly, the biggest Drakari ship, Commander Vex's vessel, moved forward. It fired a massive beam of energy at the stellar horizon. The ship shook violently. Alarms blared. Shields down to 60%, Kate shouted. Return fire. Abigail ordered. The stellar horizon fired all its weapons at the Drakari flagship. The shots hit, but the giant ship barely seemed to notice. Their flagship is too powerful, Lyra said. She looked at Abigail with worried eyes. We need to try something else. What do you suggest? Abigail asked. Before Lyra could answer, the ship shook again. Another hit from the Drakari flagship. Shields at 40%, Kate reported. Abigail made a quick decision. All ships fall back to secondary positions, regroup around Earth's moon. As Earth's fleet retreated, Abigail noticed Lyra standing, very still, her eyes closed. The alien princess seemed to be listening to something only she could hear. Lyra? Abigail said. What are you doing? Lyra opened her eyes. I need to tell you the truth, she said quietly. About who I am. About what I can do. She led Abigail to a quiet corner of the bridge. My people are called the Luminari, Lyra said. We look somewhat like humans, but we have abilities you would consider magical. What kind of abilities? Abigail asked. We can see and move through what you might call the quantum pathways between dimensions. Abigail frowned. You mean you can travel between different realities? Yes, Lyra said. But that's not all. Her voice dropped even lower. Those of the royal bloodline like me can do more. We can change reality, reshape it, or in the worst case, collapse it. Abigail's eyes widened. Collapse reality? What does that mean? It means I can make things cease to exist, Lyra said, her eyes dark with pain. Not just destroy them, erase them completely from existence, as if they never were. Abigail stepped back. And that's why the Drakari want you. Lyra nodded. They want to use me as a weapon. With my abilities, they could eliminate any civilization that opposed them. They would simply Fold that reality out of existence. My God, Abigail whispered. Can you really do that? I've only done it once, Lyra admitted, her eyes filled with tears that glowed like tiny stars. When the Drakari killed my family, I lost control. I erased an entire Drakari battle group, thousands of them, gone in an instant. She looked down at her hands. I've been running ever since. Why didn't you tell us this from the beginning? Abigail asked. Would you have helped me if you knew what I could do? Lyra asked. Or would you have feared me too much? Abigail didn't answer. She wasn't sure. The ship shook again. They were still under attack. Commander, Kate called. The Drakari flagship is coming straight for us. Abigail returned to her command chair. On the screen, she could see the massive Drakari ship approaching. It fired again. The stellar horizon rocked from the impact. Shields at 20%, Kate reported. One more hit like that and we're done. Lyra stepped forward. Commander, there is a way to stop them, but I need your help. My help? How? My power requires focus, Lyra explained. When I use it, I need an anchor, something to keep me connected to this reality. Otherwise, I might lose myself in the quantum pathways. And you want me to be this anchor? Abigail asked. Yes. Lyra's eyes were serious. But you need to understand the risk. The anchor shares the strain of the power. It could kill you. Another hit rocked the ship. Shields failing, Kate shouted. Abigail looked at the screen. The Drakari flagship was preparing to fire again. This shot would destroy them. She looked at Lyra. Do it, she said. If it can save Earth, do it. Lyra nodded. She held out her hands. Abigail took them. Immediately, Abigail felt a strange sensation. It was like her mind was expanding, stretching beyond her body. She could suddenly see things she never could before. The fabric of reality itself became visible to her, a complex web of energy and possibility, and she could see Lyra's power. It was like a star burning inside the alien princess, desperate to be released. Focus with me, Lyra whispered. See the Drakari ships. See their place in reality. Abigail tried. In her expanded awareness, she could see the Drakari fleet as bright points in the web of reality. The flagship was the brightest, its energy signature harsh and angry. Now, Lyra said, help me fold them away. Abigail felt Lyra's power surge. It flowed through their connected hands, through Abigail's body and out into space. It hurt, like fire in her veins. She could feel her life force draining away, feeding Lyra's power. Around the Drakari ships, space itself began to warp. It was as if the fabric of reality was folding like paper. One by one, the Drakari vessels vanished, not exploding, not being destroyed, but simply ceasing to exist in this reality, all except the flagship. Lyra's voice echoed strangely, amplified by power. Your forces are gone, Drakari. Retreat now. Tell your empire that Earth is under my protection. I will no longer run or hide. The next time I won't be so merciful. On the screen, Commander Vex's face appeared. He looked shocked and afraid. This isn't over, Luminary Witch, he hissed. But his damaged ship was already turning away, limping back into deep space. Abigail felt the connection with Lyra break. She collapsed to the floor, her body weak, her vision dark around the edges. She had expected to die, but somehow, she was still alive. Lyra knelt beside her. I'm sorry, the alien princess said. I tried to take as little of your life force as possible. How am I still alive? Abigail asked weakly. I found another source of power, Lyra said. A single glowing tear ran down her cheek. My fear. I've been running for so long, letting my fear control me. Today I let it go. I used it instead. Kate rushed over. Commander, are you all right? She needs medical attention, Lyra said, but she will live. As the medical team came to take Abigail to the ship's hospital, she grabbed Lyra's arm. The Drakari ships, she said. Where did you send them? Lyra's eyes were sad. To a pocket dimension, a small reality between realities. They cannot escape. They cannot harm anyone ever again. Could you have done that to all of them, even the flagship? Lyra nodded. Yes, but then the Drakari Empire would not know what happened. They would send more ships. This way Vex will return and tell them what he saw. He will tell them that Earth is protected by a Luminary Royal. It will make them hesitate before attacking again. Abigail nodded weakly. Smart, she whispered, before darkness took her. The stellar horizon moved silently through space, its engines barely making a sound. Ahead of them, the Drakari scout ship continued on its path, unaware it was being followed. We're in range, Kate said. They haven't noticed us yet. Abigail nodded. Good. Prepare the capture net. The capture net was new technology, developed with Lyra's help. It would surround the Drakari ship with an energy field that would disable its engines and weapons without destroying it. Ready, Commander, Kate reported. Fire, Abigail ordered. From the front of the stellar horizon, a beam of blue light shot out. It hit the Drakari scout ship and spread out, forming a net of energy around the vessel. Direct hit, Kate said. Their engines are offline. They're trapped. Suddenly, the scout ship fired back. A red beam hit the stellar horizon, making the ship shake. They still have some weapons online, Kate shouted. Strengthen the net, Abigail ordered. Full power. The blue energy net around the Drakari ship glowed brighter. The scout ship fired again, but this time the shot was weaker. Then its weapons went dark. We've got them, Kate said. All their systems are down. Bring them into the docking bay, Abigail said. And alert security. We don't know how many Drakari are on that ship. As the stellar horizon's tractor beam pulled in the scout ship, Abigail turned to Lyra. You should stay here, she said. If the Drakari see you, I'm coming with you. Lyra interrupted. Her eyes were firm. I know the Drakari better than anyone. You need me there. Abigail wanted to argue, but she knew Lyra was right. Stay behind me, she said finally. And if things go wrong, they won't, Lyra said. But her hands glowed slightly, her power ready if needed. In the docking bay, 20 security officers waited with weapons ready. The Drakari scout ship sat in the center, its black hull gleaming under the bright lights. No signs of movement, reported the security chief. Our scans show 3 life forms inside. Abigail stepped forward. This is Commander west of the Earth. Defense Force, your ship has been captured. Come out with your hands up. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a door on the side of the scout ship opened slowly. 3 Drakari emerged, their scaled hands raised. They looked similar to Commander Vex, reptilian with scales that changed color with their emotions. Their heads had small horns, and their yellow eyes had narrow pupils. They wore black armor. That seemed to absorb light. We surrender, said the first Drakari. Its scales were a dull green, showing fear. Please don't hurt us. Check them for weapons, Abigail ordered. Security officers approached carefully and scanned the Drakari. They're clean, Commander. Abigail stepped closer. Why are you spying? On Earth? The lead Drakari's scales flickered between green and blue. We were ordered to. After Commander Vex returned and told what happened, our leaders wanted more information. About what? Abigail asked. The Drakari's eyes shifted to look behind Abigail. Suddenly, its scales turned bright red. Luminari, it hissed. Lyra had stepped forward, her eyes glowing. Yes, she said. I am still here. The 3 Drakari moved closer together, their scales all turning the same frightened green color. The folding one, whispered one of them. The one who erased the battle group. Abigail looked at Lyra with surprise. The folding one? Is that what they call you? Lyra nodded, her face sad. After what I did to that battle group, the Drakari gave me that name. They fear it. They tell stories about it to frighten their children. Abigail turned back to the Drakari. What did Commander Vex tell your leaders about Earth? The lead Drakari hesitated, then spoke. He told them Earth is now under Luminary protection, that the folding one has allied with humans. Its scales rippled. Many wanted to give up the hunt, to leave this sector of space forever. But your leaders didn't agree, Abigail guessed. No. the Drakari admitted. The Emperor still wants the Luminari. Her power. It could make the Drakari Empire invincible. So they sent you to spy? Abigail said. To look for weaknesses? Yes. The Drakari's scales darkened. But we found none. Your defenses are strong now. And with the Luminari, here. It looked at Lyra again, fear in its yellow eyes. Lyra stepped forward. Tell your Emperor this, she said, her voice carrying a strange power that made everyone in the room feel cold. I am done running. Earth is my home now. If the Drakari attack again, I will not show mercy. I will fold away not just ships, but entire fleets, perhaps even your homeworld. The Drakari trembled, their scales turning almost white with terror. Take them to the brig, Abigail ordered. We'll decide what to do with them later. As security led the Drakari away, Abigail looked at Lyra. Could you really do that? Fold away their homeworld? Lyra's eyes were troubled. I don't know. I've never tried anything so large, but they don't need to know that. Later, in Abigail's quarters, they discussed what to do next. The Drakari know I'm still here, Lyra said. They know I'm protecting Earth. That should keep them away for a while. But not forever, Abigail said. No, Lyra agreed. Not forever. She looked out the window at the stars. The Drakari are patient. They might wait years, decades even, but as long as I live, they will want my power. Abigail watched Lyra's face. In the weeks since the battle, she had come to care deeply for the alien princess. Lyra was strange and powerful, yes, but also kind and sad and brave. Then we'll be ready, Abigail said. Earth is stronger now thanks to you, and every day we learn more about your technology. Lyra turned to her with a small smile. You've become quite the defender of aliens, Commander West. Not all aliens, Abigail said, returning the smile. Just one in particular. They looked at each other for a long moment. Then Lyra spoke softly. I never expected to find a home here, she said. When I came to Earth, I only wanted sanctuary, a place to hide. She reached out and touched Abigail's hand. I found much more. Abigail felt warmth spread through her at the touch. I'm glad you stayed, she said. Their moment was interrupted by Kate's voice over the intercom. Commander, we've received a message from Earth Command. They want to talk about the Drakari prisoners. I'll be right there, Abigail replied. She looked apologetically at Lyra. Duty calls. Always, Lyra said with understanding. On the bridge, Ruth Gray's face appeared on the main screen. Commander West, she said, we've reviewed your report on the Drakari scout ship. The Council has made a decision. What is it? Abigail asked. We're going to send the Drakari back with a message, Ruth said. We'll repair their ship, then let them go. We want them to tell their Emperor exactly what they saw. Earth's defenses and Princess Lyra's commitment to protecting us. A show of strength and mercy, Abigail said, nodding. I think that's wise. There's more, Ruth continued. The Council has voted to offer Princess Lyra official citizenship. If she accepts, she will be recognized as a legal resident of Earth, with all the protections that status provides. Abigail smiled. I think she'll be pleased to hear that. After the call ended, Abigail went to find Lyra. The alien princess was in the observation lounge watching the stars. I have news, Abigail said. She told Lyra about the Council's decision to release the Drakari and to offer her citizenship. Lyra listened quietly, her eyes changing colors as Abigail spoke. So, Abigail finished, what do you think? Will you accept citizenship? Lyra was silent for a moment. Then she said, When I first came to Earth, I told you that if you knew who I was, you would be scared. I remember, Abigail said. And now, you do know, Lyra continued. You know I'm the last of the Luminary Royals. You know I have the power to fold away reality itself. You know the Drakari call me the Folding One and tell stories to frighten their children. She looked directly at Abigail. Does it scare you? Abigail thought about it. She remembered the battle, how Lyra had used her power to save Earth. She remembered how it felt to be connected to that power, to see reality as Lyra saw it. It had been terrifying, yes, but also wonderful. No, Abigail said honestly. It doesn't scare me. Because I know who you really are, Lyra. Not just what you can do, but who you are inside. And that person, that's someone I trust. Lyra's eyes glowed with emotion. Then yes, she said. I will accept citizenship. Earth will be my home now. 6 months later, Abigail stood on the bridge of the stellar horizon, watching Earth grow, larger in the view screen. They were returning from a diplomatic mission to a nearby star system. With Lyra's help, Earth had made contact with other peaceful alien civilizations. Alliances were forming. Trade was beginning. Humanity was taking its first real steps into the galactic community. Lyra stood beside Abigail, no longer wearing veils or strange suits. She looked almost human now in her Earth Defense Force uniform, except for her glowing skin and her eyes that still changed colors with her moods. It's good to be home, Lyra said, looking at Earth. Yes, it is, Abigail agreed. She took Lyra's hand. The alien princess's fingers intertwined with hers, warm and comforting. They had grown closer over the months. Their friendship had deepened into something more. Something neither of them had expected but both treasured. Any sign of Drakari activity? Abigail asked Kate. None, Commander, Kate reported. Not since we released the scout ship. Our long-range sensors are clear. They'll be back someday, Lyra said quietly. The Emperor won't give up so easily.